Hello everybody and a very warm welcome to Crafters TV. My name is Ben Mosby. Thanks for being here for Craft Along, our third show of the day. If you missed the masterclass on the Book Nook, do make sure you go and watch that back from 2 o'clock this afternoon. It was marvellous and something a little bit different. If you love your construction, then that will be right up your street. This show we're going to be concentrating on the fantastic DL Aperture Dies. Showed you them this morning on Crafters Connect. And Sheila has got a marvellous project up her sleeve to share with you over the course of this next hour. So I'll take you through the product in just a bit. Of course, if you've already got it, let us know if you plan on crafting along during the show, because we would love that. Like back in the good old days. Remember that? When we used to have the crafters crafting along, and sometimes you'd even come and join us on the show, wouldn't you, when we used to do those. But yeah, if you are thinking about crafting along, let us know. If you're going to do it at a later date, also let us know, so then we can look out for your finished makes on the I'm a Crafter's Companion page on Facebook. And indeed, if you haven't got them, fear not, because we've got them in stock for you, so you can pick them up over the course of this show, and then you've got a brilliant craft along to get started on as soon as they arrive on your doorstep. So let's say hello to the lady who is going to be taking you through. Sorry, I just got distracted there. Jan says, a reminder to show photos from the last show. Thank you, Jan. Oh, everyone else had forgotten, including me. So I'll do that in just a second. Let's say hello, though, to the most important person in the studio. It is the one and only Sheila Showbiz, Sheila Halliwell. How art thou?
I'm fine, thank you. Just had a lovely cup of tea, and I think that's what I needed, because I've not had one since this morning. So I was just like, I need something, nice sweet cup of tea, and I'm good to go.
And you've got a fantastic project to make as well. Back down the old scrapbooking line here, aren't you?
Yes, yes. So we're kind of doing something a bit unusual. Obviously, it was going to be, well, originally, because I didn't read the show brief properly, because I've had so many things going on construction-wise and everything. So I knew what was coming up, but I hadn't really kind of gone into depth about it. And so I thought, right, well, I'm going to use the DL die, so I'm going to do like a nice 8x8 card. And then I went back onto the show brief, and it said, like, scrapbook page, and I was like, oh my goodness, I just nearly did a card. So what I've done is I have done a scrapbook page. However, because of the way I've done it, you could, well, you see it here now.
Yeah,
you'll see the panel in the middle is like 8x8, so it would go on an 8x8 card. So you could use that for anything at all, or you can, like I've done, put it onto a 12x12 and make it into a big page. And the idea behind it is we wanted to kind of concentrate on Easter and like family gatherings. So I thought, you know what, a lot of people like they dress the babies up, don't they, as like Easter bunnies and things, like in Halloween as pumpkins and all kinds of stuff like that. Well, I don't have any babies, I don't have any children. So, and I've got lots of nephews and nieces, but to have found a picture of them in Easter regalia would probably take forever. So, because they're all in their 30s now with their own children. So, so what I've done is I've left the blank section in the middle there that you'll see on the square where you could insert a photo. Okay. But I did also think, because I've put it as our Easter baby, you could put your bunny rabbit in there.
Oh, yeah.
You could change the animals. You could put our Christmas baby, our Halloween baby. So you could adapt it, and that was kind of what I thought of as I went along. I thought it would be nice to adapt it. You could put your pets in there. You could do cats, because we brought all kinds of dies with different animals on. So you could do that. So don't think when you see it, oh well, I don't have a baby, or well, I don't do a scrapbooking, or I don't do it as a page. I don't do pages with photos. Look at how it can be dissected, and you see as we build it up, it could be used as a card, a photo frame, etc., a smaller page, whatever. But it's just a different way of using those dies. Absolutely brilliant.
Should we have a look at what we need? Then I'll say a few of those, and then I'll show those photos that I haven't
Yes, do show the pictures. Yeah, we must, or we'll be in trouble. Okay, so let's tell you what you're going to need. So you're going to need your DL Aperture dies. Now, I've used the square ones on this. I've used the Easter Bunny character die, the alphabet, numbers and icons die set, which we launched recently. I've used some of the paper punches as well, the rock Fern, the leaf foliage, and then I've used our lovely new floral spring paper pad, a sheet of paper from the Western collection, because it seems to work really well, some 12x12 white cardstock, A4 white cardstock to punch your bunnies and things out of, some mixed colours of cardstock, and also some of the liquid pearl drops, which are the pastels, which you might have already got. And then our additional items and this is the one I always miss something off, but anyway, I think I've got it all. Gemini 2, the Gemini Mini, the Guillotine, your scissors, Pokey Tool, your black outliner, some Tacky Glue and some foam pads. I think that's it. It's not a massive list for extra items, so.
Excellent stuff. So you can get all those bits and pieces together if you want to do it live. Let us know if you are doing that. Also, let us know if you've got the dies and you plan on doing it down the line. And also let us know if you are picking them up during the show. I'll show you the bundle in just a second. They are, I think, also available for you individually. Jan's on the socials. Lois has joined us in Ohio. Jen Shank, Trudy Bickham, Debbie Hawkins says good afternoon from the UK. Hello, Debbie. Hello also to Stephen Ferguson. Hello, Ben. Can't wait to show my T-shirts. Oh, for Crafterganza, Stephen. Let me know. Pat says, good day to Ben, Sheila and everyone from a beautiful, bright and sunny New Jersey. Spring is finally here. Spring has sprung. Mary Beth Doyle is in Minnesota. Carolyn says, greetings from Boise to Ben, Sheila, staff and Crafting Nation. And hello from Broken Arrow. Boing. Little hard to hear as having hardwood flooring being installed in my daughter's room. I can talk up a bit, Susan, if you like. I'll shout. Carolyn, I won't shout because everyone else will be like, oh, he's shouting. What's he doing? Carolyn on YouTube says, good morning from Florida. I'm late switching over. I was trying to get caught up watching the bookshelf video. Oh, the boot nuke. Such a great job, Sheila, says Carolyn. Go back and watch that later. Watch this live show now. Let me show you these pictures very quickly and then we'll get into it. So these have been sent through on the earlier show. Oh, dear. It's just flicked back. Hang on. 1 second, please, caller. So this is from Hillary. So Hillary, look at these, has sent in her beautiful book nooks. They're lit as well, fairy book nooks. Look at those.
Oh, how lovely are they?
Stunning, aren't they?
Yeah, so nice.
Beautifully lit as well.
Yeah,
Thank you, Hillary.
It's a nice idea, actually. It's just because you have to construct it and it takes a lot of time. But you know what? I know a lot of you crafters, you're retired now, you give up so much of your time to your crafting. So why not just have a go and do one yourself with all your dies?
Jackie Kosh says, my Craft Pal card has inside that opens to a wheel. It is beautiful. So this is the card. So this is the card you received, Jackie, yes?
Oh,
very
how
nice.
Lovely.
I love this skeleton butterfly die over the top of the butterfly pad, the vintage butterfly pad.
Yes.
That's exceptional.
How pretty.
And then, oh, it opens up to the inside of the card, which looks like that.
Oh.
Beautiful, isn't it?
How lovely, how refreshing and nice and happy.
And then I think is there one final picture? I think there is. Yes. Oh, this is from, who's this from? It's Louise Ditch. Made these Easter bags for my grandchildren and they're loaded with chocolate. Sorry, the ribbons are wonky. No, they're not wonky at all. I love this. So for Primrose Grace, Jessica, George and Emily. How cute are those, Sheila? Little chocolate Easter bags.
Look at those.
They're great, aren't they?
How lovely. How cute are they?
Oh, thank you, Louise, for sending those in.
So
and I'm sure all the kids will
nice.
absolutely love the crafting and probably more so the chocolate that is inside.
Yes.
Hi to Rhonda, hi to Marla Elkins and Sandy Cocker, Stephen Ferguson. Yes, he's talking about T-shirts. And Sherlan Telsford says, hello, everyone. Wow, I have finally found you live. Let's get into it. You've seen the DL Aperture Dies. You know what we are selling. I can recap on them later on if you want to see them. Details coming up on the screen just there. Let's get into it and give Sheila the time she deserves as she aims to create a marvellous scrapbook page.
That's going to be the thing now, isn't it?
Yep.
Everybody's going to be spelling things with like
Book.
3 O's.
Oh.
3 O's. So, what we need to start off with first is a piece of the, this is a piece of the Western collection from the 12 by 12 paper pad, which is perfect. And I thought, even though this is quite busy, and even though the paper that I'm using from the spring paper pad is quite busy, I wouldn't normally put those together, but I kind of thought they went really well.
Yeah.
And we're going to like put a colour in between as well. So what I want to do first then, I want to bring in the guillotine. I've got a sheet of my 12 by 12 white cardstock that we have here at Crafters Companion. So I'm going to pop that to one side for a second, just while I bring in the guillotine, because I want to cut down this paper from the Western collection. So I'm going to cut this down to, and here's how I decided. I brought the die in first of all. and because I'm using the rectangle die, you could use any of the aperture dies for this. Mind you, no, you couldn't use, you could use the circle, you could use the octagon, but you couldn't use the heart because the heart will be sideways because we're going to have to do a crossover like that when we cut. So obviously I measured this, and this measures about 3¼ inches thereabouts. So when I decided to like put it on my paper, that's what made me decide where I would cut it. And I actually counted, if I bring this one in, I actually counted, and I can show you here. I went like from the edges here, I've counted the little lines like this, so I knew that they were kind of about the same dimension away from each other. So that's how I did that. And I think that one actually measures, that piece measures 7 3/4, 7 3/4 inches, should I say.
Yeah.
So what I'll do, rather than bring out the arm and everything while we've not got loads of time, I'm going to do it on the mat here. Get my pencil and just do a pencil mark. That makes it really easy, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So let's cut it to 7 3/4. Okay, so we can chop along there. And we're going to use the bit that we take off the end. We're going to use that as well, because we're going to do like a little bit of tearing. Now then, don't you hate it when you do this and you can't see the pencil mark? I'm just going to look in the... I always do this, and then I have to look in the light. I think that's the one there. That looks about right. Looking at the... yeah, that's the one. So we'll chop down there, and then we'll do the same on this side. So again, we'll go to 7 3/4, wouldn't it? Yeah, 7 3/4. Just do a double check. Just go so we've got a nice square piece. And then we will die cut the squares out.
Yeah.
And then we'll turn the die round and we'll cut them again. So it's all about lining up that middle die so that it cuts in the right place. Okay, now another interesting fact here. Yeah, that's where I got. Can you see? This is actually this actually is in length 7 1/4, and that's partially how I got that. So what I've done now with the way it is, we can bring it back onto the mat, and we can kind of find the center point, which is, I'm doing this with my with the mat here, rather than a solid measurement, because my checkered bits are different on both sides. So what we're going to do, we'll pop that onto there, and I'll use a bit of tape on here and let it go onto there rather than on here. So I don't want it to tear the paper, because we're going to be putting it through twice. Yeah. So let's just make sure that's nice and straight, and then these bits will fall out. So let's bring in the mats. So I'm going to cut that one first, and then... And I was going to say, if you've got the Easter Bunny triptych dies, yes, they will fit in these squares.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
So you can either use the square outer die that comes with the bunny triptych, or you can use this die as well, because I think they kind of sit nicely in both. So, and then obviously when we do this now, you've got 3 nice squares. Take that off there, and we can keep that tape there for a second, which you can use for whatever you want to. So let's take this one off as well. I'll just take that off there. And then what we need to do, we need to pop this back on here to cut it the other way. And don't forget as well, you could do it that way, so you've got 9. I think some of our team did that when these first launched. So what you can do, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory really. You can line it up just like that and do it where you think, but if you turn it over the other way, it makes it a tiny bit easier if you just line it up there with the die, like you can see. Okay, so, and what we can do then, we can tape that onto that side. It doesn't really matter. Like that, I'll just do the edge on there. Okay, and then what we'll do is we can pop that through again, and that will give us the 5 square apertures.
Okay.
Pop that to there, because we're just using that one die for now.
Okay.
Okay, so pop pop those plates out the way, like that. And there now you can see, if I take that tape off there, like that, and off there, we have now got, move those, the nice little, let's get that bit of tape off there that we just left on, the nice little apertures there. And again, you could do it that way if you wanted to. And it does work as well. If you slot these back in, they will slot back in as well. It does look quite nice with the spots on the checks, even though it's a bit kind of, ooh, I think it still works. So there you can see now, that's kind of asking for photographs, if you like, there. But what we want to do now, we want to pop it on a little piece of white card.
Yep.
And then we're going to bring in, to match with the colours that we've got on here, a piece of lilac, and this is just some of our A4 multicoloured cardstock. I think it's I'm not sure if we've still got it, but it was on the website a while ago, so some of you might already have that. So again, what we're going to do now is we're going to put that on there. We'll just do a little measurement, and then we can trim a little bit off there. So again, at this point, this is just like doing an 8x8 card, really.
Yeah.
So if you did want to do it on a card, then you can do that.
Whilst we're watching you, we can say hello to Carolyn Toogood, who's joined us. Hope you're both well, she says, on this sunny day. I've not been outside since 5 to 11, so I don't know. Is it sunny outside here?
It was lovely
sunny.
before.
Morning, Evelyn, Kiefer in Colorado. And Hillary says, hello, everyone, from Hillary and Holly Collie. Holly now has little dog pants on, and she's not happy. Lol.
Oh, bless
She
her.
had a little cut, didn't she? So now she's got pants on.
Oh.
And Joanne Michelli says, hello, everyone, from an overcast but warm Chicago. Expecting a few thunderstorms today. Hello,
Ooh,
Joanne.
wow.
Hello, everybody.
Gosh. Thunderstorms. I think we had a bit of that last week all over the country, didn't we? Everyone was saying, oh my goodness, we've had everything in one day. We've had rain, we've had sun, we've had hail, we've had fog, we've had snow, we've had wind. It was crazy. And it was a bit crazy when I drove home from here last Wednesday night again. Honestly, I don't know where the rain comes from. There was so much rain, it just like, it's just like it waits for me. And then it just absolutely, as I go over the hills, the top of the hills, it just absolutely lets rip, and it just is so hard to see. I was like, oh, no.
Ready, clouds, Sheila's coming, let's rain.
Come on, yeah. Yeah, it was raining. Not all the time, but it was raining. But there was some actual beautiful clouds up there in the sky as well. I wanted to stop and take pictures, but I thought they'll look a bit threatening. I'd better get on my way.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So what we're going to do now, just pop that to one side before we pop all that together. So we've got the 12x12 sheet here now, and I've taken one of the 12x12 sheets, and I've cut about 1/4 of an inch off 2 adjacent sides. Now I think what I might do, just looking at it now, I want to chop a bit more off this bottom edge, just because I'm not seeing enough white. So I'm going to do that right now.
Yeah.
So I'll just bring that big guillotine back in, and then I can just chop that a little bit more off there, because I like it to be even. So when I mean like 2 adjacent sides, like top and a side or bottom and a side, if you do two sides, it'll end up, or top and bottom, it'll end up being wider and long, and like kind of longer than you need it to be.
Yeah.
It won't be even, so just be a little bit like that, a little piece like that, and then we'll pop that onto there, and that gives us a nice white frame. So what we'll do, we'll pop that on there now. So I think I'm just going to get one of the tape runners, and we'll do it with that. Because it'll probably be a little bit easier rather than doing tacky glue on such a big, vast expanse of paper. So,
Yeah.
But I will do a few pieces to go across.
Any questions you've got about the project, anything you want repeated, anything you want to know, do get in touch and fire those questions in. Always happy to answer.
Definitely, definitely. Okay, so let's see if we can get this kind of just in place, like that, I think. And I think that should be pretty much okay. You can always trim a little bit off if it's a bit out of line, but I think that's okay. It's not too bad at all. Right, so now what we're going to do is we will bring in the purple. You can see that works really nicely with that. And then we're going to pop the white onto there as well. Me using a tape runner, a rare thing, because I always get in a bit of a knot with them. And that's me, that's a operator error, as they say.
User error?
Yes, user error. It's not the fault of the tape.
I always used to use tape pens, but now I use more of your wet glues now because I find them better for me because, especially when I'm doing mats and layers, I always place them in the wrong place. If you do it with a tape pen, that's it, isn't it?
Yes.
But with your wet glue...
Exactly, because they're very strong. They're very strong, so... Okay, so what I'm going to do is just chop a little bit off there. I could bring the smaller guillotine in for this. And obviously you never know until you've got it put on there if you need to chop a tiny bit off. So I'm just going to chop a tiny bit off the edge there. There we go, that's a bit better, I think. And then we've not got a big... Yeah, it needs to be symmetrical, doesn't it? Now then, with this is entirely up to you.
Nice.
If you want to, at this point, and you want to put photos in it, obviously you need somewhere to be able to maybe slide your photos in and out. You might not want to do that. You might want to just put pictures in and then stick this down. There might be copies of photographs. There might not be the originals. But if you wanted to, you could leave like the side section open, so that you could then slide a piece in, or you could slide photos in, whatever you want to. Yeah. Or you could do it so that this is on pads, so you've got more of a like window effect. You could make a wallet that would slide in from 2 pieces of acetate, because you could tape those around the edge and then change your photos as and when you want to. So there's lots of options. For me, because I'm not putting a picture in at the minute, I'm just gonna pop this down, because I don't want to stick it down until I've got my rabbits ready, because my rabbits are all going to be slightly different in the way they sit.
Right.
But before we stick that on, I want to take this piece of cardstock that I had left over, and what I want to do is, if I bring the page in, you'll be able to see I've actually torn a little bit of it here and put the matching gingham on there as a torn piece, and then we've done a little strip from there. So what we're going to do, let's do a little bit of a tear, and don't worry about it being neat or not being so neat. That doesn't matter.
I think that's why I'm not very good at tearing, because I always worry that it's not neat. But I suppose the whole point of a tear is that it isn't going to be neat. Just tear without thought.
Exactly. And then to get the white on the other side, I'm going to turn it round and then bring it back that way. You know, my sister, my older sister, used to make cards, and she doesn't do it much now at all, if at all. And she used to do a craft group, and I was like, why don't you do it? She said, well, can you tell me any more techniques or new techniques? And I used to say to her, why don't you do a bit of tearing? Yeah. I said, yeah, like tear a strip of vellum or paper or something. She's like, I'm not doing that. I said, why not? She says, because what happens when I send a card to somebody, they'll go, oh, look at that, she's torn it. And I was like, they won't say that. She said, no, I'm not tearing. She would never tear anything.
It's called shabby chic, darling.
Shabby chic, isn't it? Yeah, but she would never tear anything funny. So yeah, it's I love doing a bit of tearing.
Sheila says, Helen, you used a tape pen and said it was very strong, but is it strong enough for a scrapbook? I was thinking about using red liner tape, but then that would be a bit too expensive.
You know what? The beauty of being in craft now is that we've got so many different products that we can use for assembling things together. So it's a bit more of personal choice. For me, you know me, I love tacky glue. But because I'm not putting too much weight on here, then I'm happy to use the tape runner. If I was putting, say, like metal cogs or buttons or heavy ribbon or many layers on, then I would probably use, like you're saying, some red tape or some tacky glue. But this, I mean, the tape pens are ridiculously strong because they are known for that. You know, we know that they'll keep hold of things. So yeah, it's up to you. You might use pads up there, you might use tacky glue down here, you might use red liner tape in the middle. It's entirely up to you. Whatever you want to do is fine. But I just use a mix.
Yeah.
You know, I really do. I just use a mix of things. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take, and because it's a little bit, in fact, no, we can do a little bit cheating here. So I'm going to cut probably like 1/4 of an inch strip off there. And that's just going to go across the middle of here now, so that it just breaks that up. And then when we bring our thing on here, our main panel, just breaks it up. Now you can see, because this was a short piece and I'd cut from it, and I'd torn it out of the book a little bit heavy-handed, should I say. So it's not like the full length. So let's see if I do this here now. So what I'm going to do, I might need to do it that way. No, it is that way, I think. Oh, I've cut the angle the wrong way. It doesn't matter. I'm going to cut it straight and then we can trim that off. What I'm going to do, because it doesn't go right the way across, I'm going to cheat a bit and I'm going to cut it in half and move it either way.
Okay.
Just so that it fits. So nobody's going to see that because it's going to be under that main area.
Yeah.
So let's pop that on there and we'll trim just a slight angle off there. And then this is where I'm going to bring my glue in now, because it's a thin strip. And again, this is where you could use your red tape. However, like Ben was saying before, if you're using something really strong and you put it on wrong, especially if it's a straight piece like this and you need to get it in the middle, once it's down and you can't really take it off. So I'm using my tacky glue and then I can just wiggle that around and make sure that line stays where I want it to be. And then this bit, we're just going to do a tiny angle on there, just so that it fits with the edge of the page.
Yeah.
Like that. So I think I might have gone, oh no, I might be, oh, I think I just need to take not quite as much off there, I think. I don't want it to look odd, so that's better. And then you can kind of line that up with that. And it's not like the end of the world, because you've got that torn piece. The torn piece is then, it's not straight anyway, and it goes thicker at one end and thinner at the other, so it's not like, you know, something you can rely on for perfection and a straight edge as such. But as long as they kind of go along like that, then we've now got those little bits. Now, another thing I want to do now is, you might notice I've put some corners on here, so I'm going to do that before we decorate all the other bits. So I've cut 4 corners. Now I've done these in a slightly different way. So I've done 2 that are longer at the top and then longer at the side. So basically it just measures, it's like a little rectangle that measures 1.5 inches by 2 1/4. So 1.5 by 2 1/4. So what I'll do, I'll cut it from this. So 1.5 inches by 2 1/4. And I need 2 of these pieces. So I'm going to have that one and then this one. So it's 1.5
by 2 1/4. By
2 1/4. Thank you for confirming that. I was just thinking.
I am listening. See.
What is it? what is it? So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to cut this one down here like that. Okay. So I'm going to do that one first, because I can guarantee I'll need to do it the opposite way.
Right.
So let's move those out of the way there. So this one is going to be. Now we might have to change it on here, because what I've done, because of the way I've cut it, I'll bring this in, you can see I've got that one, but that's on the wrong side, and that one's on the opposite side. It doesn't matter. So what we can do that one long at the top, and then there's this one long that way. And then what we'll do, we'll bring in the next one. So this one needs to be long that way. Okay, so, and if you want to, you can put a little pencil mark if you want to, just so that you know which corners you're going to, and then that one will match that one, because that will go up that way. Right, so there's my little pencil mark. So we will just put that to there like that and chop that. Okay, there we go. And then this will go.
Oh, nice.
On there. So they're just a bit different, just a bit uneven, but they still kind of match each corner. And it was just something a bit different to do. And it doesn't matter whether which way you've got your square in the middle.
Whilst you're sticking with Kelly, Hi, Ben and Sheila. Bought the quilling kit and the octagon die from Evesham on Sunday.
Oh, nice.
Jackie Kosh is in. Howdy, everyone. Sophie and I have finished the yard within time for the show. And Karen Hughes says, afternoon, Ben, Sheila and all. The first time I've been able to watch live has had Fudgy to the vet for her yearly injection. She was very brave.
Oh,
Shadiah joins us as well. Hello. And Jade Adams joke. Hey, Ben and Sheila, what do you call a sheep covered in chocolate? A chocolate bar.
Oh, chocolate bar.
Well done, Sheila, got it right.
Nearly got it.
Chocolate bar.
Chocolate bar. Oh.
Helen says, I want to say a huge shout out to Emma in customer service, who has been my very faithful helper this past week. She has been outstanding, apparently.
Oh, that's nice. Emma's nice, isn't she? She's a nice girl, Emma.
And I love that Sheila's doing a scrapbook, says Joanne. I do mostly cards, but it's always great to get new scrapbook ideas.
But do you know what? Years ago, when I used to be on a different channel, it was always, I think, for us as crafters, scrapbooking has always been more of a US thing.
Yeah.
I know my sister, when I used to go over there years ago, when her kids were little, she had scrapbooks where she's crafty, but she's more artistic rather than crafty. So she'd been to these like groups where, you know, where they get together and do pages and stuff. So she had albums under a coffee table with lots and lots of pictures with the kids on scrapbook pages that she'd done. It was weird because there was always and I think it still is a little bit, card makers and scrapbookers, it's like us and them or them and us.
Yeah.
You never want to cross over as such. And so when I used to do shows with paper kits and things like we're doing now, I used to always do a 12 by 12 scrapbook page, and I might have a photo in the middle, but then I would shrink that photo down and bring it down to do it an exact layout as we've got here, but as an 8 by 8 card to just show basically all we're doing is that in bigger form.
Yeah.
Or we're doing this in smaller form. And if you take that, you know, into your crafts, you'll be able to see. I mean, you might have seen something similar yesterday with Dawn when she was doing her things, where you can do small scrapbook pages. I used to do with a company I worked with years ago. They used to do a scrapbook page that was like postcard size.
Oh, okay.
And I just used to love doing that. Little picture of my cat, a few little buttons, and a little sentiment or a bit of journaling, and that was it. And it was really, really easy to do. So I kind of like doing that. I like to do a repeat of the scrapbook page, but on a smaller, just on a card, because it's exactly the same for me. It's just done in a different size.
Great way to put it, actually, yeah.
You know. So what we're going to do now, we're going to bring in this. I've already done a lot of cutting because I wanted to do 4 bunnies, so I've got my 4 bunny to cut because they're all in little pieces. But I wanted to show you how to put them together because until you've done it, it's a little bit tricky because there's some odd-shaped bits and bobs in there.
Yeah.
So, but I keep this in the kit. I keep this in the die set because this is what I did in craft card.
Aww.
And it looks quite nice in craft card. So if you were doing this scrapbook page, and I've done it quite pink and florally, and I know the world is different now, and pink and florally can be for girls or boys, whoever, you know, everything's changed now, so it goes right across the board for everybody. But if you're one of those traditional people that wants to do something a bit more masculine, or you've got a particularly, you know, boy in the family, then you could do it in craft, and you could do it with, like, you know, rustic colours, using maybe creams and beiges and stuff like that. So again, it does work as a nice little craft rabbit as well. What I'm going to show you is a couple of ways of making the rabbit look like it's hanging through one of the windows, and then I've changed the ears as well, so that you can see that you can change it.
Yeah.
So we'll bring in all the pieces. Now what I've done here, and I'm going to put them together fairly quickly because I've done them a few times. So I've got 4 heads here, which I've already cut out, and they're all in the compartments. I've got heads, and then I've got bodies and chests, and then I've got arms and feet, and then I've got ears. So what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to do these little body parts first, because this is the easiest way to show you, because this is how I always start these off. So I've got my 4 bodies. What I do is I put the chest piece on first of all. I'm keeping them white because the Easter Bunny tends to be white. That's the reason I've gone with that. So I'm not putting the chest, right at the top. Let me just pop that back on there. Because I want a little gap here where I can then put the arms. Okay, so let's do that. So we'll do that chest, and this chest, and we're going to kind of vary them slightly, and we'll put them through the windows before we stick that down.
Yeah.
And a couple of them, you won't need to do the whole body. You'll just need the top bit. You won't need to do the.
It's the bunny
legs.
butt one you could put in there as well, isn't it? You were saying.
Say that again.
The
sorry.
bunny butt one would go in there as well, wouldn't it? From the
Yes,
Easter
it
collection.
would. And I'll grab it out of my bag and show you the bunny triptych one. That's the one, isn't it?
Yeah.
I shall get that out.
Is that the one with the bunny?
Yeah.
To build the bunny butt.
Yeah, I'm sure I've got it here in my bag. Yes, I have. Yeah, here it is. So the bunny triptych. If I get it out and show you, so that will, because it's nice to be able to see this. So you'll see if I bring in the die here. Okay, so this square within the triptych is slightly, it's only a fraction.
Yeah.
There's only a fraction in difference with that, but that will still fit in there.
Nice.
Yeah. So then you would do you can see how you can cut your bunny straight in it. So it's a cutting, or if you want to do it as a separate, you can do that, and that will go in there. So that is your square that comes with that bunny. Or you can just use you can actually use the bunny in this square as well, but it's a bit tighter. It's a bit tighter, so I would be using my original one, or I'd be cutting that in first and then maybe doing a frame around it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that will definitely fit within here. So it's if you've got that and you've got the DL dies, I mean, you can put anything in there, can't you? You could even go with your Halloween pets collection and put the dogs and the cats in there, or your Santa paws. Any of those things would fit in these. And then if you're doing a scrapbook page with your dogs on, or your cats, or babies, or any of your pets and things, you'll be able to do that as well. So definitely worth having a little go.
Yeah.
So we've got the chests on there now. So what we're going to do, we're going to give one of the bunnies, so let me get the couple of the arms out. Now the difference is when you're cutting these is you'll see that the arms, so I've got the arms here. If I put them on here, then you can see them a bit better. Those are the arms. Now we've got some very similar ear pieces which are like the insides of the ears, which are these. So I'm going to put them next to each other, and then you can see the difference, because it's so easy to do it wrong. And I'm going to try and grab the other one that's going the other way, and then it'll make more sense. So can you see? So these are the insides of the ears.
Yeah.
They're narrower at the top, and they're not as curved.
Yeah.
So if you look at the arms, you can see that they're wanting to grab hold of something. So these are the ear bits and these are the arms. I don't think it's the end of the world if you do it wrong, because they're very similar. However, it's just nice to kind of know that, because we all do that until we've actually cut everything and stuck it down. We're not sure what we're doing. But the picture on the front of the box or the packaging gives you the best idea. And then what I do when I stick these on, I just stick them at the top, so it then leaves that hand loose, because then you can pop something else in there. You might want to pop like an Easter egg. You might want to pop a carrot.
Oh, yes.
You might want to pop a football. You might want to pop a love heart. It could be a little present, it could be a card, whatever you want to do.
Do you do Easter eggs, you and Wayne, or not really?
Well, I usually get an Easter egg for him. I mean, I don't know if we did last year, but I think so. He usually gets me a box of those lint, the lovely
the lint ones.
Yeah, and I'll get him one. It's difficult because he's diabetic. He's not supposed to have them, but and you say, right, you can have it, but in moderation, and he just trashes the whole thing. So.
Oh, really? In one go?
Yeah.
There's not much chocolate in an Easter egg, though, is there? I always think if you melted it down, like in a normal Easter egg, there probably wouldn't be much more chocolate.
No, I
than a
don't
chocolate
think
bar.
there's. I mean, chocolate doesn't have as much sugar as a lot of sweets and things. So he's not too bad with chocolate. He does eat diabetic chocolate at the minute. I notice he's got some in the cupboard, so I think he eats it when I'm away.
I need to get my Easter eggs sorted for the kids, even though they're 15 and 18. They both want eggs, apparently, this year. I was hoping they were going to say no, because you have to spend a small fortune to buy any, don't you?
It is nice getting an egg, isn't it? It is nice getting an egg.
I'm going to use Klarna, I think, this year.
Yes, Klarna, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are a bit more expensive than they were.
The big ones are like about 12 quid nowadays. I
know.
remember back along where you could buy the little ones for £1 or 50p, and then your big one would cost you about £3-4.
Yeah, exactly.
The prices are extortionate.
I know.
Extortionate. Oh dear, I don't know why I bother.
Man.
Thank you, Donna. He says, I've been wanting scrapbook ideas. And Nicole Brother Rick Rack is in, everybody. Nicole Brother Rick Rack.
Hello.
Lovely Ben, hello. And Sheila, this scrapbook page is beautiful.
Oh, thank you, Nicole.
I love that, says Rick Rack.
Thank you. That's very kind.
Praise indeed, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
From lovely Nicole.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
Hilary says, Easter egg chocolate is the best chocolate. I concur. Somehow it tastes better. I would never buy a chocolate bar normally. I just don't eat a lot of chocolate. Crisps, nuts, yes. Chocolate, not really.
Not really bothered.
Chocolate Easter eggs, I'll eat them by the basket load. Don't know.
It's different, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's different to when it's... I think it's because... I don't know, it's because it's actually... Because it's an Easter thing and it's allowed. And it's an Easter kind of tradition that you go, OK, you can have one, then you can have one. OK, so we've got our arms on now. So I've done two... I've done three the same. And then I've got one with its arms kind of outwards. And that's going to hold 2 eggs. And that's the one that goes in the top window. So you can see now we pop the little heads on, and when I pop the heads on now, I'm going right across the top of that neck bit there and across the shoulders and bringing the head down a bit like that. And then we'll do the same with this one. So across the top there, it's better like that, 'cause you know where to go then. And then we can put that at the top. That doesn't need to go as far down because we want to pop the little eggs in there, and I'm just going to move those down just a fraction while that glue's still wet like that. So ears next. So, and I'm keeping it all white. If you want to add some colour, you can, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just keeping these as they are. So you've got one like big ear.
Yeah.
And then you've got. Let me just grab that with my my little picky up tool. There we go. So you've got this ear.
This ear.
You've got this ear.
This ear.
Yeah. So that one will sit inside there like that. Okay. So we've got that one. And then we'll do the other ear how it's meant to be, which is, so we've got this one. Now then, you've got 2 or 3 pieces for this. So you've got this one that looks like a little teardrop here, and you've got the one that looks like it was that shape, but it's had the top cut off, so it's a bit of an unusual shape. So we put the middle bit in, and then we once we've done that, we go, you can put that right up to the top like that, and then this is the floppy bit, the overhang on the ear, so that just sits on the top there.
Yeah.
Took me ages to figure this out. I was like, what on earth goes where, you know, what bit goes where here? But then once you've done it, it's like, oh yes, of course, Sheila. It was pretty obvious, really. So there we've got the floppy ear and the regular ear. So what we're going to do now, we're going to pop this onto the back of the head, and again, I'm just going with tacky glue because it'll grab it. Probably gone a bit happy with the glue there, but anyway, it's all right. And then this one will go. Oh, wrong glue. That's got a pin in it still, so it's this one we want. And then obviously, if you're doing them in a little batch, I'm going to lift that up just a sec, then I can get that underneath. If you're doing them in a little batch, it gives them like a few minutes to dry. Now you've got the feet as well, but we're not going to put the feet on this one. I'm going to put the feet on the one with the arms wide open, and also on another one, so it hangs through the bottom of the window, which I'll show you in a sec. So, in fact, we could do that one with that one. We could pop that in that bottom window, because what happens then, we'll do that right now. What we can do, pop that underneath there, and because we've not glued the arms will come down like that. Okay. So what we can then do is...
It's like celebrity squares, isn't it?
It is, isn't it? Celebrity squares, yeah. So we can hang that, and I'm quite happy to let that little bottom hang down a bit there. Not all the way, because then what we'll do is, I need to give that another minute for that ear to dry. I'm getting ahead of myself here because I'm excited. And then what we'll do, we'll bring in the feet. So the feet will go on there, and they will glue on there, and they'll hold it in place. And then we'll give it a little leg as well. So we can give that a few minutes just to dry, while get those ears dry. So the next ones now, what we're going to do is change the ears slightly. what I want to do is I want to use, so the proper ear, and I want to use the little middle section that'll sit on there, like that. And then what we'll do then is, with this piece that's meant to be the flippy floppy bit.
Flippy floppy.
Yeah, we're going to keep that one, and we're going to put that other piece that sits in the middle there. Let me grab the other one. I think we've got some in here still. Yeah, so this one, got so many pieces here, it's ridiculous. So this one, I'm going to put that on there. So this will give it a slightly smaller or shorter ear. Yeah. And that will make it a little bit more comical as well.
Jen Shank says, my two are 25 and 27 with spouses, and they still ask if they're getting Easter baskets. This year, they might get a grocery and gas gift card. Well, I tell you what, if there's anything like this country, which it is, I would love that. A petrol gift card would be very nice. Just like a full tank of fuel from your mum or dad. Exactly. Marvellous, thank you.
Exactly. Yeah.
Stephen says, I get a card making kit for Easter. That's nice.
Oh, how lovely. Card making kit, nice.
Jean Marie says, this is such a cute page, Sheila. Very
nice.
Oh,
thank you. But you can see how this would make a nice little card, wouldn't it? It would make a nice little card.
Yeah, it would.
You know, you could put all kinds of different animals on. So you can see now with that one, it's got shorter ear because that's the overhang bit that we've used, the floppy bit. But it looks quite comical because it's just got two. If I put it there, it's got two different sized ears, so it looks a bit like maybe like the runt of the litter when you've got you know, when you've got a little tiny puppy or a tiny kitten that's you know, the baby one that's never got the weight on it or can't walk till it's 3 months or something. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we'll do another ear on this one now, and we're going to do on here. So what you can do as well, which I've not really done on these, and I don't know if it's time for me to move those now. I might be able to do it. You can actually do a little tilty head. So you can tilt the head a little bit so it looks cute because it's got its head on one side.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll do that one because that one will go in that window. That one can go in that window. So this one will go in this window. So, like that. And then, I just lift it up while we pop that on there. And this can have a big ear as well, but we're going to tilt that a bit lower. Like that. So again, it gives it a little bit of character. And then this one, again, this is going to be a shorter ear. So we need the right little piece for in there, which is that one. And then that can go on there. So we'll put these in place before we give them their eggs. So what we'll do with that, we'll make that one have its ears wide apart, you know, like dogs do when you say, who's done that? And the ears drop. Who said you could eat that egg right at this moment? And the ears drop down.
How dare you?
You're a very naughty bunny.
I'll be, I won't get any Easter chocolate. I never do. I tend to buy the kids, obviously, something, and my wife something, but she never ever buys me anything for Easter. A package has arrived this morning from my mum, but I know that'll just be all for the kids.
Yeah.
So what I'll probably do is do the dad thing and nick some of their chocolate. It's like the cheese tax for dogs, isn't it?
You're a naughty boy.
No, but you know what I mean? Like, the dogs get the cheese tax, the dads get the choc tax.
Yes, okay.
You know, fair's fair.
Yeah, we'll let you off. We'll let you off.
Dogs love cheese. Well, my dog loves cheese. Whose dog loves cheese? In the comments, Dean's just gone, dogs love cheese, is that a thing? As soon as I open the cheese wrapper, Molly can be right upstairs in, you know, the furthest bedroom away from the kitchen, or she can be at the back end of the yard. As soon as she hears that wrapper, she's in. And she knows the sound of the cheese wrapper compared to, say, I don't know, like a biscuit wrapper or something like that. I mean, to be fair, she'd still be in if she saw biscuits, but yeah, cheese, the cheese tax.
Funny, aren't they?
They are funny.
Funny. My cats know the cheese, and I used to give them a bit of cheese.
Cats love cheese as well, don't they?
Yeah, but I can't do it now because I was stupidly, I used to give them, every time I had like, you know, if I went and got some like fish or something and I cooked it, then I would give them a little bit. And then I would give them a bit of cream if I'd had some like trifle or something, and then I'd give them, you know, a bit of cheese or a tiny bit of chicken. And in the end, my cat got really, really poorly, and it was my fault for giving him like treats that weren't really treats, it was our food. So now I can't do that, I'm not allowed to do that now. And he's all right now, he's fine. But every time I go to the fridge to get cheese out, He's there, and I'm like, you know, you can't have it. You can't have it. And I feel so bad, but I think, well, no, if I don't, you know, if I give it to him, he'll be poorly. And he'll, you know, it could kill him, and also it would be a massive vet's bill as well. So it's better that I just not give him anything. So I give my other cat treats, because she's all right with those, she's fine. But what I have to do, because he's big and he's quite greedy, I have to like do it in a cunning fashion. So I have to break a big piece off for her and give her a big piece. And then I have to give him like a tiny piece and then give her another big piece. So I'll put 2 or 3 big pieces down in front of her, and then I'll give him tiny pieces like from my hand. So he's got no idea that she's getting bigger pieces. It's all a, you know, it's all a bit of a nightmare, but I have to do that. So, and he has special food now, which she has as well, because it's difficult, as you know, if you've got cats and things, to feed one animal one thing and one animal another. So they do both eat the same food now, which the vet said will be fine. But yeah, I can't give him anything. I can't give him any cream or anything like that now, because it would just make him ill, and it's not worth it. So, but yeah, they do like the treats, don't they? Even if they're cats.
Holly loves cheese, says Hilary. She goes crazy for it. And Pat says, here we go, Ben, my cat Penny loves cheese too.
Wow. They're funny little things, aren't they?
Ben, does Molly get an Easter basket? Asked Jane. Well, nah, she won't get an Easter basket. I'll probably buy her a toy or something. You know, if I buy the kids, she is like my third child. Just a very furry, rounding up child. Yeah, so she'll probably get a toy or something, and maybe some, you know, some little dog treats.
Yeah.
Not chocolate though, because poisonous, isn't it? Poisonous to dogs.
Yeah, poisonous for the dogs, isn't it? Chocolate.
My cat Shadow comes running when you open the string cheese, says Rhonda. Doesn't matter how quiet you are.
Oh my goodness, funny little animals. Right, so in this collection, sorry, not the collection, you actually get the little mouth and eye dies, but they're so small that I've just decided, you know, I'm going to put it. I'm just going to draw them on. So, but it's up to you. I'm just doing little eyes and then little curly mouth like that. And if you put a pad behind the head, there's one we can just use.
You could use the, if you've got the pasta collection, you could use the facial stamps from that, couldn't you?
Yes, you could. That'd be really, really nice and easy. So yeah, you could do that. So I'm putting a pad behind the head and then a bit of glue on the little bottom. And I've left, when I've glued it, I've kind of left a little gap so I can still just pop them in like that. And then the head will sit proud, as you can see there. And then we can give them an egg. So we'll give this one a purple egg. And I've done a few like little dots and patterns with a white pen on the eggs. And just pop that under their little feet like that. And because you've left their arms loose, you can get those over the top like that. And then we're going to do this one. This one needs a pad on the back. So let's do that. Back of the head. Oh my goodness.
7 minutes left.
Oh no. I've misjudged that one, haven't I?
No, you're fine.
Again.
I could have come and helped you stick those bunnies, but...
I know, I just didn't think.
I don't like to intrude.
It's all right. You're never intruding, Ben. You're never intruding.
What were we doing in the last show? Oh, yes. Deconstructing jigsaws, that's right, isn't it?
Deconstructing jigsaws. Yeah, whatever that means. Yeah.
I can come and out cut some jigsaws if you want.
Yes, we'll do. We're going to do some I think we're going to do some crazy backgrounds with the watercolours and the liquid watercolours and stuff like that, spritzers and things. And then what we'll do is we will cut them out with the jigsaw dies. Yeah. And hopefully we'll get a little pair of earrings done, and we'll also get... I have brought some chain with me as well, so we'll try and do a little, maybe an unusual necklace. We'll see how we get on. So we've got our other little bunny here. Let me do this one's face. I've not done the one at the top yet. So
Holly will get Easter stuff off her nana, says Hilary. Another spoilt collie, see. And she says, I'm going to remove her dog pants as a treat as well. That is so funny.
That'd be nice, won't it, at last, to be able to take those off.
Jackie Kosh says, Sophie and Cletus, the cats, no, cat and dog there, isn't it? One dog, one cat. Love cheese. Both cats love milk, but it has to be lactose-free since cats can't digest the lactose. Yeah, you get special cat milk, don't you?
Yes, get it in a little carton. Yeah, you can get it in a little carton. Right, we'll just do a little, let's do a pale pink egg on here with a little pads. And then we can do another, oh my goodness.
5 minutes left.
5 minutes, where does the time go?
Time flies when you're having fun.
Let's do that one there in its hand. And then we'll do, we'll do another purple one at that side. And that one will glue on. So, what we'll do now, I'll be as quick as I can here, just to get these last... How many minutes did you say, James? 4
now, isn't it?
Oh my
giddy aunt.
Why do I do these projects that take forever?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't know. I just like to put loads on. I've always been the same. When I'm making cards or projects, I've never done simple and clean and simple. I just like, when people say less is more, I say, yeah, but more is fabulous. Now what I have done, you'll see if I bring the original one in, I cut a couple of hearts from the heart die that is on here. So we've got a couple of little hearts, so we can put like, we'll pop one flat, I think, there, like that. And then the other one will pop on a pad. And we'll just chop that pad there, like this. You can obviously change this as much as you like. And I'll bring the original one in a minute, just so that then you can see what else I've put on there. And all I've done from those, from the alphabet dies there, I've cut our Easter baby, but you could put, you know, my perfect pet, or you can put whatever you want on there. It doesn't have to be what I'm saying it should be. And I've also put the, with the punch that I've used, I've got all these little leaves cut out with the punches, okay? And then basically all you need to do then is just like rearrange 1 or 2 of these, like this. So they will just go around the edges of your window. Don't be worried about letting them overlap. And then you can tuck in a lighter green one if you want as well, just to go with the green that's in the papers. So you're going to do that around each window. And then what you need to do as well is I've taken the little flower, which is on a piece of paper somewhere here. There it is. So we've taken that little flower that's in this collection as well, in the collection of dies. It's a tiny little flower. When you cut it, cut 4 of them, you're going to put 1 flower on each of the bunches here, glue it on, and then the circles that have come out of the middle, keep those because they're going to go on the end of each corner there, okay, like that. And then finally, all you'll need to do is bring in your little pearl drops and put a pearl in the middle of each of these. A little bit of white pen to do some dots, some zigzags on your Easter eggs, and then you will end up with something like that.
Incredible.
Which is quite cute, but I should have done it a bit, you know, I should have had less on there, but hey, you know me, I just like putting as much on as I can.
Well, that's it, cram as much as you can on.
I do love cramming stuff on. I just love products and I love putting as much as I can on, from a bit die cutting, you know, a bit drawing, a bit gluing, a bit of stamping. There's no stamping on this, but, you know, bit of paper work and all kinds of things. So yeah, just have a go and see what you can come up with. Absolutely tremendous, and we've had loads of lovely comments come through about that as well. So that's so nice. I know a lot of our viewers, particularly American friends, love to do the scrapbooking. And if you want to get the full collection, here it is. So you get all these different shapes. So you've got your DL Aperture Dies in the squares. You've also got your octagon. You've got your hearts in there as well. You get 5 dies within each set, so it's 20 dies in total. And then your last one is your circles as well. So $37.60 is your platinum price for all of those, or $44 if you're shopping in the US. And of course, pick those up, grab them, and then you'll have this brilliant craft along to come back to later on down the line. Bookmark it. If you're on YouTube, of course, you can save it to a playlist and come back to it then. If you've already got them, then of course, you know, you can do this one whenever. And if you do decide to recreate this particular scrapbook page, make sure you tag Sheila in it on the I'm a Crafter's Companion page so we can see exactly what you've done. Yes. The brilliant thing again is, of course, is you can change it up slightly, use different papers if you want.
you know, use different characters or put photos, as Sheila suggested, into those squares. It's entirely up to you. That's sort of the starting point for you. If you want to redo it exactly the same, you can, but of course you can change it up as well. Massive thank you to Sheila. We are back in an hour's time for another show. Yes, so many shows. We're going to be deconstructing jigsaws. I'm as intrigued as you are in that show, so make sure you come back and join us for that in an hour. Until then, thanks so much for watching, and bye for now.